What's up, YouTube? If you've clicked on this video, you've probably either already purchased or are thinking about purchasing a Honda RC51. More specifically, as this is the SP1. In this video, I'm going to show you a few things that you want to look for before purchasing the bike to make sure you're getting a good deal, because I've seen these bikes go anywhere from needing work to where I purchased this. This bike didn't have third gear when I bought it. I paid $1,900 for this, which was a steal. But average price, I see these things go from $3,500 all the way upwards to around $7 grand. First, the biggest thing to look for on these SP1s is the gas tank leaking. Up under here, if you look up under here, and this one has been repaired, right there where that hinge is, you can't really tell mine's been repaired, but right there where that hinge is, gas will leak all around the spot welds. So you need to make sure you look for that. If it has been repaired, make sure it's been repaired by a professional and not somebody just smearing JB Weld all over it, because I've seen pictures on the internet of that, on a ton of them. It just doesn't work. The best way to do it is by welding it, having somebody weld it or braze it, and then pressure testing it, make sure it's not leaking anymore, and go from there. Next, because these bikes are known to be old track queens, you know, people buy them, raced them back in 04, 05, 06, 07, and then just put them up. So you want to look down here around the axle nuts, all on the bottom of the fairings, on the swing arm, and you're looking for any type of scarring where it looks like the bike has been down a lot. You know, just look all around on the swing arm. The engine covers, you can see on this one where this one's been down. See how it's all scratched up right here? And there's some scratches on the fairings. This bike has been down, but again, I paid $1,900 for it, so I didn't really care what was wrong with it. It only had 12,000 miles on it when I bought it, and the biggest problem was it just didn't have third gear. Next thing, like on most bikes, you want to check your fork seals. Make sure none of this is wet or anything looks stained where it's been leaking and they tried to clean it off. Check the tread on the tires. Checking the bottom inside the fairing down here in the bottom of the belly, and see if you see any oil leaking. This bike had oil leaks from where somebody had taken the clutch cover off. A piece of the gasket had ripped off and was missing, and they put the clutch cover back on, and when it rained, it just pissed oil. So make sure you look inside the fairings for any type of oil leaks, because that's definitely something you don't want getting underneath this back tire while you're riding. Then you check the chain, make sure the chain's got this in good shape. Then once you've gone over the bike visually and you've looked at everything, check the lights, make sure the lights work, then you want to take it on a test drive. You know, get on it. The shift should feel smooth, the ride should feel real stiff at a low speed. I've actually seen one of these bikes for sale that had a set of CBR 600 forks on the front of it. Why, I don't know. I assume the bike was wrecked and that's just what they threw on it, not knowing better. But make sure that it's got all the correct parts on it. Make sure if you're looking for an SP1 that's going to be valuable in the future, that nobody's tried to do any SP2 conversions. A very popular one is that swing arm right there. To take the SP1 swing arm and put the SP2 swing arm on, you have to add a bunch of spacers and whatnot to make it work. But for it to be valuable in the future, it needs to be an all original SP1, and that's including the bodywork, guys. You know, make sure it doesn't have any Chinese fairings on it. Most of the Chinese fairings, the graphics will be painted on. It's not going to be a sticker like the OEM graphics. Like this right here is actually a sticker. Like this bike here, this has Chinese fairings on it, and all the graphics on it, that's painted on. It's not a sticker. So that's just a real easy way to tell. But when you're riding it, like I said, make sure the suspension feels good. Make sure you have good throttle response. Check the front brake, rear brake. Make sure you go through all the gears, accelerating and decelerating on the gears in each gear, to make sure one side or the other of the dogs aren't worn out. Because this bike here, it would decel in third gear but would not accelerate in third gear because that side of the dogs was worn. So make sure you're checking every gear, each side. And as long as everything checks out and the mileage is good, it all seems factory, go for it. I mean, this bike has been, this is the most fun I've ever had on a motorcycle, is on this bike right here. But it's not made to putt around, go to McDonald's, go 35 on. This bike wants to be ridden. They're built very well, but again, the biggest thing is just the gas tanks. The gas tanks, it was just a bad design. It's a lot of weight when you fold that gas tank up. It's a lot of weight that sits on that hinge, and it'll break the welds over time. The vibrations from the V-twin, it's not good. They were doing a warranty at one point in time where they were replacing your gas tank, but I think you have to be the original owner of the bike and it not show any signs of an attempted repair, and I believe they will still honor that warranty. But yeah, if you're looking at RC51 and all those small things check out, like, I mean, most of these things are what you would look at on any normal sport bike, but the biggest thing with these bikes is make sure you have the original fairings, all the original SP1 parts if you're looking at a SP1, and just make sure the bike hasn't been rode hard all its life. And enjoy, because you will. It's an awesome bike. Alright, YouTube, just want to throw up this short video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll answer them as soon as I can. I've had this bike for 3 or 4 years now, so I have a pretty extensive knowledge on it. I put the transmission in it. I've put a power commander on it. I've done a few things to this bike, and it still needs more, but again, this is probably my most favorite bike I've ever had. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks, guys.